Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, Osama. How are you? How's it going? So before the live stream, I got to make the ammo item to be able to pick up, to be able to make the character to pick up that item. So as you can see right here, we have a single blueprint which holds information of what kind of ammo it is, and depending on which ammo type you select in here, as you can see right now, it's selected to be as pistol ammo. If you select it to be as arrow ammo, as you can see, it's going to change the skeletal mesh of that ammo, and you can edit the ammo amount of, you can decide like how much ammo you want to give the character as soon as the character pick up that specific ammo. So as you can see here, I have selected pistol ammo, and the skeletal mesh also changes, and you can edit the ammo amount of how many bullets, how many ammo you want to really give the character. And as you can see, that's working. Let me just get the pistol. So you can get the ammo right away. You don't really need to get any ammo, any weapon to be able to pick up the ammo. We can just pick up the ammo right away, and that's going to count as well. So I'm going to pick up the pistol here so that you can see how many current pocket ammo quantity there are. So in here there is 15. So as soon as you pick up the pistol ammo, right now it's going to be 23, as you can see right there. So it's going to be very good. It works very good. Great brother said, Ozona said, I'm good, thanks. That's very great to hear. Great brother said, please make a video on aim offset and fresh game. Snappy. Yeah, right now I'm not working with aim offsets. I don't really know how they work exactly. Ray World said, hey, can I ask something about my project? Yeah, for sure. So the other thing I've done here in this project is, if you go to the sandbox characters, you can see I've added a idle break state. It's a state machine. So as you can see right here, inside that state machine, I've added a idle state, and inside the idle state, I have added a random sequence player, which you can add by right-clicking and getting a sequence player. So as you can see here, you can add an entry. So you can click on the plus sign, and you can go to the index and get the drop-down menu. And here you can add the sequence. Now here you can add the animation that you want to play. And you can add some parameters in here, such as chance to play, minimum loop count if you want to loop that animation, the minimum and maximum play rate that's going to be selected as soon as you play, as soon as the animation is selected, is randomly selected. You have also the option to blend in, so you can choose all that stuff in here, which is very good. So here in this random selected player, what I've done is just select all the animations that are related to make the character to have this kinds of animations. So as you can see, the character looks around like if he was curious to see what's going on. So when you're standing still, when you stop the character, there's going to have as you can see, the character is going to look around, and that looks the player to be a little bit more alive, the character to be a little bit more alive, as if he was aware of its surroundings. I think that's the best way I can explain it. Zaptix Game said, hey brother, can you where can I get the slide animation for the GASP? You can get it from my Patreon page, or you can get it from the Mixamo, which is free. If you get it from my Patreon page, you're going to be able to get and unlock all the project files, all the animations from all the project files from all the tutorials I've made so far. So you're basically going to unlock everything. So not only the slide animation, but all the other animations based on the tire pick. So it's going to be a lot easier for you. But it's just up to you. You can also try to search on the Unreal Engine Marketplace to see what's going to be the best slide animation. Now, if you're trying to get this slide animation to work with GASP, I haven't done that yet, but maybe in the future I'm going to add the slide animation to the GASP system and try to implement it. The repeat games. I see. So as you can see right here, the character is going to, if you stop, the character is going to look around, and you can choose like what's the chance of playing such animation. So as you can see here in the random sequence player, we have the neutral stand idle loop, which is just to stand the normal idle pose of the character, idle animation. So you can add the chance to play. So based on this random sequence player, is going to pick whatever animation is on that list, and you can basically add the chance to play. I usually set the chance to play on the neutral stand idle loop to be 2.3, but you can add it to be 2.7 depending on like how often do you want to play that animation. I think that's the way it is. And for the other ones, I set the chance to play to be 0.3, and you can also set the minimum loop count. In here, I've set the minimum loop count to be 1, and in here to be 3, I think. Setting to be 2, I think it's going to be better, but it's going to take longer to play the other animations. And it also works well with the bow. I've tested out. So if you stop, the character is going to look around. If you wait for a little bit, but I think that adds a little bit more awareness to the character. And yeah, I think I'm going to set that back to be 1 because minimum loop count. I think after adding the NPCs, the logic for the NPCs to move with the GASP, maybe someone already has made it. So I've got to take a look into that and then just add it on the system here. I think it's going to be very great. And I think it's going to be very realistic if you add also the ragdoll that I have implemented into the ragdoll that I have made and then implement it to the NPC, whatever NPC blueprint I add in this project right here. I think it's going to be really sick. So if you shoot the enemy like this, as you can see, the area is going to be there, and we can get the simulation physics to be working in case we hit the character with an arrow, and we can also attach that arrow to the character head or whatever bone we hit. I think it's going to be really good later. So this is just the beginning of the implementations of the locomotion. We're just trying to make it really to look good, and I think the final, I think there is no end date to finish this locomotion system because I have a lot of stuff there's always new stuff to implement. So there's always infinite work to do. There's always something to do to make the project to look good and to make it to look scalable and easy for other people to use it. So that's it. Septic Game said, can you also host a video about shooting type enemy AI that is aggressive? Can you wait? All right. Yeah, we're going to make the, I think on this tutorial, we're going to make the shooting to work, the shooting system. Let me just see if I have the particles. So emitter, fire, cascade. Is this smoke? Salve, chefe. Salve, salve. E aí, tudo bom? Beleza? Top demais. Yeah, there are some smokes in here. I don't know where they are from. I think it's from the engine. Oh, it's from the abandoned factory. Let me just see if I can try to have the muscle. All right, let's see if I can find the weapon premium projectile project files. I don't know why I say projectiles. Doesn't make sense. So I can get the particle effects from there and then migrate it to the other, to this project here. Let me just give me a moment. I'm trying to find where the weapon is. Weapon project files. There we go. Just found it. Please make your audio clear. Your volume is still low. Is it low? Is it low? Hello, hello, hello. Let me just see if I can edit the volume a little bit up. Yeah, because sometimes I talk away from my mic and it doesn't really capture my voice. So if I talk really close like this, the volume, I think it's normal now. Just a little bit more. All right, so what we're trying to do here is just get the get the particle effects to be spawned. All right. Yeah, when I equip the pistol, oh yeah, that sound is played as well, so that's no problem. Explosion. Yeah, we're going to add this sound effect as soon as we shoot. So, going to go to the weapon shooting. On the shoot event, I'm going to just play sound, maybe add location, and then just select the firearm in here. So basically, what I'm doing here and why I'm doing it. Basically, what I'm doing is just selecting the shooting sound effect based on based on the current type of weapon you have. All right. So let me just see if I pick up the pistol. That's very good. Now I want to add a sound effect for when let me just duplicate this and make this more metallic. Apply. I think it makes more sense to make it more metallic. All right. And then what I'm going to do is just get the tag to be working here. So as soon as you click on the object, you can see that we have the actor, and right below we have the advanced tab section, and we have the tags. So I'm going to use the tags to hold information of how what kind of material that is. So in here, let's just say metal. So this material is going to be metal, and this material here is going to be metal as well. Or it could be aluminum. I think it depends on the perspective. Maybe this is the metal. So just pay attention that as soon as we type metal, the M is upper. I don't know how it's called, upper lock, something like this. Uppercase. Yeah, it's using uppercase for the M. So just pay attention to that. Now here's for the wood. So it's very simple. And just going to move this back so that it's more organized. All right. All right, so in the projectile, the parent class, the BP projectile, we have this box. And here in the on component hit, we have this box in here. So for the pistol bullet, we don't need this code in here, so I'm just going to delete it. And just add this one instead. But then I'm going to need a So what I can do in the projectile, I can get the I think we're gonna have to create a new variable and call this ammo type or bullet type to store what kind of bullet, what kind of ammo we're using. As we're using the parent blueprint, we need to specify what kind of ammo we're using. So I'm going to add a new enumerator called ammo. I think I haven't talked about this ammo enumerator, but all you gotta do is just, right click, type enumeration. So you're going to create a new enumeration, call it _ammo. And then in the first display name, we have the arrow ammo. We have all the sorts of ammos that we're going to be using. And the reason why I created this is because maybe you're going to have like two types of weapons, and those two types of weapons is going to hold the same type of ammo. So maybe those two weapons are going to be able to adapt and use the same type of ammo. So that's why I created this separate enumerator here. And it's very good to hold information like that, because you can, use that information to scale the code even better in case you want to add more weapons, more stylized bowls. Maybe you want to create a different bowl that has different mechanics. So I think it's good to create this enumerator in here. I already used that enumerator to hold the information of the ammo type. So hopefully that doesn't interfere with the projectile. That's okay. Now in here, as you can see, it's good to have a default one, the default value, but that's okay. The PP projectile could be, the default value could be, I'm going to add the default value into here. I'm going to move that value to be the first one. And in the arrow projectile, I'm going to go to the class compile first and then go to the class defaults and make sure that the bullet type is arrow ammo. And then what I'm going to do here is get the print string so that every time I shoot something, it says hello on the screen. And right now it's not deleting the bullets. As you can see here, the bullets spawn, they stick into the wall to any surface. Sorry guys. And now they stick to the surface. If I get the ball, it also prints hello. I have to reload the ball. So it also prints hello. So what I'm going to do here is get the other actor, get the hashtag. So basically in here, you can, based on the tag in here, you can add, like, let's say if the bullet hits the metal, we're going to play the metal's impact sound effect. So if this is true, we just hit the metal. So if this is not true, we're going to hit something else. So we're gonna have to search for the other thing. But this is good to do with macros. So I'm going to teach you guys how you can use macros later. So if the thing that you hit with whatever thing that you hit is the wood, then you're going to say hit wood. So hit wood, hit metal. So let me just see if that's gonna work, because you really have to input the right tag in here. So let's say this is wood with the uppercase. And if I try to shoot, hit metal, this is hit metal, and this is hit wood. There we go. I think I can play the sound effect. It looks very low, but I can increase the volume, the minimum volume in here. Maybe it could be 1.3. And then I can use that impact sound effect to be played in there. So in here we can play the wood sound effect, but as you can see right here, it gets very complicated because you're gonna have to keep adding the branch and the actor tag and then connecting to here and then connecting to there, and then finally select the sound effect. So in here we have a lot of options to make. We can either make a function or a macro, so that it gets easier to be selecting all the sound effects. Let me just see how it's made in the weapon system projectile, because I don't remember how I've done it. So basically here we have the on component hitbox. We promote the other component to a variable. Yeah, I think we can just copy and paste this whole code in here. I think there's no, it's not going to be a problem. As we know how to do things, I think it's just way better to just copy paste things. So what I'm going to do is just copy paste. Let's see if hopefully it doesn't crash, because I don't want to spend that much time prototyping. Just make sure that you just save everything you got, because the engine might crash. And I'm not sure how this is going to go, so I think it's going to be a lot easier to just copy and paste everything. So paste. Some functions references cannot be resolved in the new context. How would you like to fix them? Let's just create matching functions, because I think it's going to create the functions in here. So let's see, impact sound effects. Those functions are created in here, as you can see in the real project, the project where the functions are. It's going to create those functions for us, so it's going to be good, I think. So as you can see, as soon as you click on create, the functions were created, and it has all the input parameters that we need. But the thing is that there is nothing in here in the code, so all you got to do is just copy paste those functions in there and just plug those in. Yeah, now we're gonna have a lot of code errors in here, so but that's okay. Now I'm going to go to the next function, which is called explosion post process, but this is just for the barrels, and we're not doing barrels right now. So custom launch velocity, maybe we can copy, yeah, we can copy that as well. Or am I custom launch velocity? Maybe I'm not using that right now. Finish execution, I have no idea what this is. If you go to the event graph, the only functions that we're using is just the impact effects, nothing else. So there is the explosion post process. This is just for the barrels. We have a lot of things to do in here, but that's very much fine. So pretty much just follow the same thing. Okay, this finish execution in here is just basically destroy the bullet. So we have the destroy bullet event. Destroy bullet event. So we're going to just replace those references and just delete the finish execution instead. So just plug them in. All right. Compile. We're going to create the variable called the rotation from X vector, compile, and that's everything we need so far. I don't know why we promote the sandbox reference to a variable. Let me just check it out to see where it is used. So it is used to get the distance from the explosion to see, depending on like how far the character is from where he shot the barrel, it's going to the character is going to be launched away, and the force is going to be based on how close the character is from the barrel where he shot. So we make that sort of calculation to basically define how much impact the character is going to have depending on how close he was from the barrel that he shot, the explosive barrel that he shot. Yeah, so let's test it out. We have an error here. The following blueprints have unresolved compile errors. Let's just see where that is. Used pin, I don't know where that is. Play camera shake. That is in the BP bullet. Yeah, I think this is just for the barrel. Yeah, you can just remove that. We don't need that. We're not going to be using this explosion post-process sound effect, the effect. So let's see if all the impacts, because all we've done in here is just copy and paste the code that, it pretty much plays the decal. So it's going to spawn the decal based on which material we hit. So if we hit the metal, it's going to spawn the decal for the metal. We also spawn the impact sound for the bullet, for the emitter, and sound attenuation, which serves for making the sound to appear as in a 3D form. So based on the distance, if the character shot the barrel or any other kind of object very far away, we're not going to be able to listen to the sound effect because we're very far away, and that makes sense in the real world. The decal spawn scale is going to be different from. You got to pay attention to this, because here, if we're hitting the metal, actually the metal is. Wait, where? Let me just see. The metal. Yeah, that's the right project. Yeah, let's just test it out and see what happens. So get the pistol and shoot. Yeah, there's something wrong in here. I think it's spawning a lot of things at the same time. Yeah, of course, I think the error does not really need to disappear, so I'm just going to remove the depending on the bullet type, I'm not going to be destroying the bow. So if the bullet type equals to bow, to the actual arrow, if the projectile that we're using is the arrow, we're not going to destroy the actor. So press on play, get the bow, and if we shoot, as you can see, the arrow is going to be standing there. Reload again and shoot. It's going to be there. And it's going to be there. I think the arrow can penetrate a little bit more in the surface. As you can see. Yeah. So what I'm going to do that is go to the projectile arrow viewport, and I'm just going to move the arrow forward, because what's happening here is as soon as the arrow gets launched, we have the hitbox, and whatever this hitbox hits, it's going to make the bolt to stick. It's going to make the arrows to stick in the surface. So if you just move that arrow just a little bit forward, we're going to make the arrow to penetrate the objects a little bit more. And of course, we can make this based on which surface we hit. So if we just hit it from the side, yeah, that's a little bit weird. Let me just try to reduce the size of that box. The problem is if I reduce the size of the box, it's also going to reduce the size of the arrow. So if I keep the scale relative to the world, yeah, maybe it's not going to work like this. Let me just think of a way to solve this issue. Yeah, now I just gotta fix the arrow size. Let's put that to be 100. It's going to be, and that's okay. File save, and now let's see. Yeah. Yeah, usually arrows are not going to penetrate metals, but I can just keep that for now. If someone knows how to fix the IK hands on the sandbox character, let me know, because I'm still trying to find a solution for it. Sound. Can you guys hear the impact sound effects and the when I shoot the metal? Now usually the okay, I have some errors in here. It's not valid. Oh, okay, I see. I have a tutorial from Misofizo. Can you give me the link to his channel, Misofizo? Can you give me a link to his channel to check it out? I'm gonna have to follow tutorial for fixing the IK, because I don't really work with IKs. I only focus on the locomotion part and the backend logic, such as this one, you know, ammo systems, reloads, such things. I also have a code in here that I don't need, which is this mess in here that I've tried to make, but I know it's not gonna. I'm not going to be using it. Pitchfork Academy, the GASP IK fix. How to use IK to fix your left hand to a weapon. Seems good.
So here, and in this Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, I'm going to show you how to lock the left hand of your character to his weapon using LeftHandIK. Now, this is built off of the top of my Ultimate Weapon System tutorial. So if you haven't seen my How to Make a Weapon System with Simulated Physics 2.0 tutorial, I highly recommend you check it out, because this is built off of the top of that, and we have a variety of different...
Okay, but is this going to work with the GASP? That's the question.
Weapon types here.
That's the $1 million question, if this is going to work with the GASP system.
And as you can see, the left hand is locked into place.
Probably because right now he's using the UE5 skeletal mesh, right? But if I use the UFN skeletal mesh, will I be able to follow the same, follow the tutorial normally using the UFN skeleton? It should, okay.
Weapon. Now I have bound something to the L key to switch this on and off. So you can see if I press the L key, I'm switching it on and off there just to demonstrate, you know, what this is doing. And I will show you how to have some control over whether this system is switched on.
RPG weapon, please.
Example,
yeah.
I press 0 to switch.
I've always tried to. I have to get for making the RPG weapon. I have to get a really good
to my unarmed state.
particle effect.
Off, and then as soon as I pull out a weapon, his left hand is locking into the correct position, like
the particle effect of the trail of the missile going. You know, I think I can find that in the marketplace. I'm going to search it up later.
Now, just before we get started, guys, a quick word from my sponsor. As per usual, guys, this Unreal Engine 5 tutorial is brought to you by you, my generous subscribers and viewers who have been so supportive over the past 12 months or so. If you find this video to be of any use or value whatsoever, please hit like and subscribe. And if you're so inclined, please do consider making a small donation to the channel via my Patreon. Link is in the description. I do also have, it will only be offered to the first 150 function pure for 200. And this is just so we can more clearly see what's going on with our character here to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit closer. And what I might do is just pick up this weapon, and as you will have noticed, the left hand is not in the correct position. It's not locked to the weapon, but also when we start to move, you see that the hand is sliding around quite a lot. And one of the reasons is obviously this requires LeftHandIK, but it also has to do with the blend mask that we use in the animation blueprint. So if I just select my mesh and browse to ABP Many and open this up, and we go back out to our top level of our enum graph and have a look at this layered blend per bone, where we set up the blend mask. Now this was very, very quick and easy to set up, but it has produced some sort of undesirable results for the LeftHandIK IK, it doesn't really work. That movement, that jiggling when you run around is still kind of there, and the left hand doesn't lock to the weapon. So we're going to change this from blend mask to branch filter. And if we drop down the layer setup, drop down this index, and add a branch filter, we can drop down the index on this branch filter, and then in the bone name, we can put spine_01. We can leave the blend depth as 0, and we can leave mesh space rotation blend and mesh space scale blend checked. Now we can quickly have a look and see if that makes any difference when we are walking around. You can already see there's less movement in the left hand. So that's,
yeah, I need
jiggling
3x
I was referring to
for the playback for the
blend mask. So with that out of the
playback
way,
speed.
let's look into setting up LeftHandIK. And so basically, the quick explanation of how this works is you already understand that when we pick up a weapon, we attach that weapon to a socket on our skeletal mesh. So the socket is in the skeleton of the skeletal mesh on the right hand, and the weapon attaches to that. Well, we are then going to attach the left hand to the weapon. So we're going to have a socket on the weapon. So the weapon attaches to the skeleton on the right hand, and then the left hand attaches to the skeleton of the weapon. So we need to create some sockets on the skeletons of these weapons. I'm going to browse socket. We are going to need a function LeftHandIK like so, LHIK, and we're going to make it the same name on every weapon so that we don't have.
Okay, so he creates a location to a socket location in the weapon itself to make the hand to attach to that socket location. So if I get to go to the M4 A1, where's my rifle? Go to my rifle. Oh, I'm in the wrong project. So if I go to the M41, skeletal mesh, trace end, ADS. We have a lot of sockets in here. Sites.
Search for. And what I'm going to do in here is just right click on the root bone and add a socket, and I'm going to rename this socket all caps LeftHandIK like so, LA.
LeftHandIK, okay. So right click, add socket, and this is going to be called LeftHandIK. And I suppose this is the socket location of where the left hand is going to be on the gun, on the rifle in this case. So in this case, I want the hand of the character to be right over here. And I guess I gotta adjust this location to really see. That works.
HIK, and we're going to make it the same name on every weapon so that we don't have to search for a bunch of different sockets. And I'm just going to place this socket round about where I think it should be. We will adjust this in a moment, but I'm just going to put it about there for now. And now in our BP third person character in the event graph, we are going to need a function that sort of transforms that socket location into bone space on our character. So our animation blueprint can more easily sort of tell where to move that left hand to. So let's create a new function, and we'll call it get LeftHandIK Transform.
All right. Sandbox character. I'm going to create a function in here called get LeftHandIK Transform.
And in here, what we're going to do is add one output, and it's going to be LeftHandIK Transform of type.
LeftHandIK
Transform. Make some space here. And what we need is our current weapon, so we can get our current weapon. This nifty little pure function that we've created. And first, let's just check is valid, because we don't want this executing if there's in fact no weapon. And then off of get current weapon, we can get socket transform, and the in socket name is going to be LeftHandIK, exactly as we named it.
Okay, so we're going to get our current socket, and as we use a special function for that, which is the, if you go to the functions, we get the weapon, no, it's actually a macro. I don't know if you can use macro. Okay, we can. So we have the get weapon reference, which is going to get whatever weapon we have in our hands. And it's going to get, we're going to get that weapon is equipped. So I want to get whatever weapon is equipped in my character's hand. And I want to get it so that only if the, Save the weapon tag, branch case switch. Okay, branch. And then now I can finally get the saved weapon reference.
In our gun's skeleton. And here, off of this return value, actually we can split this and we can get our mesh.
So we're going to get socket transform out of the skeletal mesh. And then get the M41 LeftHandIK socket location.
And off of mesh, we are going to transform to bone space.
I have no idea what that does. Transform to bone space.
And we're going to plug the return value location into the in position and the return value rotation into the in rotation.
I have no idea what that's going to do, but let's see what's gonna happen. But I believe that's part of the IK system. But I've never done an IK system, never in my life, so.
Like so, and the bone name here is going to be the hand_R, our right hand. Here off of our position, we can make transform and plug the position into location and the rotation into rotation. And
hand R. So he's getting the hand R for the mesh, but here is the left hand IK. I don't get it. He's using the hand R. Well, let's see what happens. So we're going to make the transform. And then plug that into here. Keep the scale to be 1.
And then plug this into our return here.
Plugged into the return there. Yes, it attaches to the left hand to the gun. All right, let's see.
And connect the is valid to the return node, like so. It's a very...
Now the is valid node, we don't get it anywhere, but usually we don't really need it because if the weapon state is found, we're going to have the state, but it's always good to have the is valid node. I'm not going to use it right now because for my case it's not really needed, as I know that the code is going to work. I think it's not really needed. So right now it's going to only work for the rifle. So only if the rifle is equipped, we're going to run this here.
Easy to set up function that will now return
because
LeftHandIK Transform.
I believe the LeftHandIK is going to be positioned differently from depending on which weapon you're holding. So here I made it so that only if the rifle weapon is being held, we're going to apply the LeftHandIK for that.
Within bone space.
As we're doing it differently, the code might not work, but let's see what happens.
So we can
at the end.
file this
We have like 30 minutes to go.
now, and we can head on over to our event graph. Sorry, our enum graph in our animation blueprint. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you how to switch it on and off and add some sort of customizability. But just for practice sake, I am going to do this stuff right here on my pistol enums, where it is then cached to pistol A enums. I'm going to drag this out a little bit. We can actually disconnect this, and I'm going to right-click, find a node called Two Bone IK. I'm also going to find a node called FABRIK, and these are the two nodes.
FABRIK. That's a new node for me. FABRIK. Is there a node called FABRIK? Wow. All right. Fabric. If you want to learn more, hold Ctrl plus left alt. Fabric applies the fabric forward and backward reaching inverse kinematics algorithm to a bond chain to solve bond transforms relative to an end effector. I have no idea what that is, but let's get it if that works.
That's what we need right here. We can plug this in and we'll get these.
We also get the 2 bone IK, so there you go. I've already used the 2 bone IK several times. The pistol animations, I don't know which animations he has in the pistol state machine, so
Stuff. The disconnect the node called.
I have to know what that
I'm going
is.
to drag off the effector transform here and promote this to a variable. And I am also going to duplicate this. And these are the 2 nodes that we need right here. We can plug this in and we'll get these little interim nodes.
So what I'm going to do, here is go to the overlay layer, go to the overlay states. I think I'm going to place that in here after the overlay layer, as I want to make this to work only on the upper body of the character. Maybe, yeah. I think this is going to be better after the overlay state because that might influence how the upper body is played. So if you place the layer right over here, I think it's going to be better. I'm not sure, but so depending on which code you have, as you can see right there, he used a specific part of the code, but I don't have that specific part of the code. So it's really up to you to try to think, have a critical thinking about this to where to place in your code and to make it to work in your code. So what I'm gonna have to do is, as I imagine this is going to override all the upper body pulses, I think it's better to place it right after all the upper body layering system that we have in here to make it work. And let's just see work in progress. Let's just say work in progress hand IK. And then later, after this is done, we can collapse it. We can make an animation layer like there is in here to make it more compact so that it works perfectly.
And then I'm going to drag off the effector transform here and promote this to a variable.
Okay, so he promotes the effector transform to a variable. Yeah, it's not gonna work because if you add it, if you add the IK before the upper body, here is going to be overridden by the other upper body layers. So that's not the idea. But let's see how it's going to go.
This and right click here and split the structure pin.
All right, so he get the effector transform, split the structure, and get the location in there.
And just plug the effector transform location into the effector location right here.
All right.
A couple of changes in the details of these nodes. So if we select the 2 bone IK node, up here the IK bone is going to be the left hand
left, okay. Hand left.
_L. And under effector, this effector location space can change to bone space.
Okay, so effector location space, bone space.
We can check take rotation from effector space.
Take rotation from effector space. Okay.
And the effector target is also going to be hand _L.
Okay, hand _ L.
And then down here in joint target, this needs to be changed to parent bone space.
Okay, parent bone space, joint target, parent bone space.
And the joint target is actually going to be the left upper arm, so upper arm _L.
Upper arm _L.
And that's all we need to change in here. We also need to select the fabric node, and we need to change the effector target to the right hand _.
So the fabric is going to, okay, the effector target, wait, I got lost. Where is it? and effector. And then here,
R.
And R, okay. And R.
And effector transform space is going to be bone space.
Okay, this is going to be bone space.
And effector rotation source can be changed to no change. Down,
No change.
down here in the solver, we need to change the tip bone to hand_L.
Hand_L.
And the root bone is going to be the left clavicle.
Left clavicle, okay.
_L, like so. Both of this needs to be exactly like so to work. So let's compile now, and basically what we need to do is get this effector transform from our LeftHandIK. So what we can do is go to the event graph, and I'm going to add a new pin, and off of character.
All right, so all I got to do in here now is just, well, property access. I don't know if you can get functions out of the what is the name of the function? Ah, the name of the function is get LeftHandIK Transform. I don't know if this should be in the event tick. I think this should be in the event tick, right? My arm is gone. Oh. Yeah.
Character here.
I have no idea where my arm is gone, but let's get the sandbox character. And if I try to get the function right over here, yeah, there's no way to get the function right over here, but that's okay. So we're going to just basically follow the same thing. Now I have no idea why my left arm is gone. It's attaching to the TG bow. Maybe if I do this. Do you have any idea why it is attaching to the bow? Wow. Yeah, let's try, because it's not separated. Maybe there is a socket. Because it's not separated from the rest of the code. So this might not work because it's not separated from the rest of the code.
I am just going to run my get LeftHandIK Transform function. Plug this in like so, and now our animation blueprint will have that effector transform. Doesn't usually this preview gets a bit whack at this moment. It's probably because yes, no, it won't be doing it on the unarmed because we did it. If we go back to the enum graph, we did it in here. So you will only see this be a bit funny. If we go to the current weapon enum and change the default value to pistols A, you'll see now he's trying to do the LeftHandIK.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah, it's because I'm already doing it in the. It's because the LeftHandIK is being already updated, but I'm not using anything. So as soon as I pick up the rifle, this might be fixed. So we're just gonna we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen after.
If we compile this and save it, and we hit play, and we go over and pick up a pistol, He's now trying to do the left-hand IK.
Yeah, he's trying to do the left hand IK. I'm just trying to get the rifle in this case, but this is look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's doing its thing, but
it's not quite right, as you can see. What I'm going to do is press F8 to eject, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer, and we're going to play around with the left-hand IK socket, and also the two-bone IK node will we can move the elbow, the arm out a little bit. So I'm just going to, let's start with moving that elbow. So I'm just going to window my animation blueprint. And this preview here is actually what will be super useful as well. And what we need to do is click on the two-bone IK node here, and then you'll see these two transform gizmos. One is the effector. It should be the one that's selected by...
All right. So let's just follow what he's doing. I have no idea why he just plugged the... this thing should be here, but just delete these things in here. He just set the get left-hand IK transform, but he didn't actually set anything here. He just placed the function to be loaded into the event tick, but there is nothing that really correlates, makes an effect by placing this function in here. So let me just get the same thing that he's doing, just play. And as you can see, it's a mess, but select the two-hand bone IK, select the preview instance to be ABP mini, and now let's get the pistol. Wow, yeah, it's... Let me just, all of this visible arrows and weapons in here are not helping me, so I'm just going to remove all of them, remove all attached assets to make it better to compile. Yeah, I'm gonna have to close and open the ABP sandbox character again. And now it's going to be better. Now all I want to do is just get the rifle to be in the character's hand. So get the rifle, and our rifle, add preview asset, and get the rifle in here. I think the rifle is going to be better to be placed in there. So I'm just going to, maybe not compiling works, but just apply, oh, here. So you can apply the assets. It's going to show you the weapon. So press and play. I'm going to preview using the debug the code, and let's see what's happening. What's gonna happen? So yeah, okay. That's starting to look good. We just need to set the
by default, and that's set here.
The bone location. Now if you click on the two bone IK, I have this arrow in here, this kind of gizmo. I'm not sure what it is. But if you try to move that, I think we're going to be able to place the character there. Now to help us to place this thing in here, I think we're gonna have to run a slow motion effect to not, because the arm is going to be moving and the character is going to be moving, and depending on what you set in here, it's going to change. Or maybe there is something in the details panel where you can change the location in here. Mohammed, can we integrate this model with a behavior tree for AI? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure. I don't work with AI, so I'm not sure. Twisted Angel, but when you picked up the ammo box, it was playing that animation instead of the attaching the gun. Okay. All right, let's see
by this variable that we set in the event graph. But here, this gizmo right here is the joint target location, and this is what's going to control sort of where his elbow sits. So if we move this out a little bit.
Okay. So if we move this out a little bit, as I said. Hmm.
And maybe down, you'll see that that's a much more natural position. So we can hit compile now, and you'll see that reflected. But here, this gizmo right here is the joint target location, and this is what's going to control sort of where.
In my right? So you said in my right. Oh, okay.
Where his elbow sits. So if we move this out a little bit, and maybe down, you'll see that that's a much more natural position.
Yeah, I'm not getting any natural positions right now. Vector location, joint location.
So we can hit compile now, and you'll see that reflected in the pie over here. And now we also just need to move that left-hand IK socket in the pistol. So I'm going to grab my pistol's A skeleton here, and I'm also going to dock it in this window here so that we can see the pie. And then if we move this left-hand IK, it should move his hand. It's not moving his hand. Why is that? Apologies, guys. I have forgotten to. I'm just going to press escape and exit the pie. It's not letting me. Why is it not exiting? There we go. I forgot to set the effector transform here. So,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
IK,
He forgot to set the function there. So plug the effector transform into here. And now let's just try to see what's happening. Yeah, his left arm is completely disassembled. Let's see.
Transform, we need to set the effector transform off of that. My mistake, my brain is still a little bit muddled from being sick. We should get there in the end. So now if I hit play and I grab a pistol, I can press F8 to eject to get a little.
Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, that's a little bit working. I see what he's trying to do. Okay. That's looking good. Okay, so we can compile, and as you said, please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay. Now, the thing that he said, you can move the socket in here, so that's going to change the hand, as you can see right there. Point, point, point. It's going to move the location of where he moves his arm. Let me just get the perspective to be bottom, right, front, and get this to be in here. Hello, when you expect your locomotion course? I'm not sure. I'm still working on it, but probably in 2-3 months, it should be finished. 2-3 months. So I'm going to basically teach everything I know, so that I can guys know everything I know, so that I can guys make anything I make and more. Is there, I think it's, if there is there any way to just rotate the arm? That would be good, because when I rotate the socket in here, it doesn't rotate.
A little bit closer. And I'm going to grab my pistols, a skeleton here, and undock this so that we can fiddle with this location right here. And you can see when I move this, it's moving his hand. Now, obviously, these animations aren't perfect. And by the way, the left hand IK is not perfect either. It is, it's tricky to get it to be exact. You can see there's a little bit.
You have to turn the hand in the skeleton, in the animation. So I have to go inside the animation and change the, and apply the additive layer tracks. So let's go to stand on whatever animation you, yeah, I'm using the stand rifle idle. Pose the stand relaxed position. And this animation is there. So I have to change it in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at okay. I'm gonna have to see which preview. Yeah, maybe. Okay, go to the skeleton. This is the left hand, so hand left. And this is. Oh no, I'm changing the IK. Okay, this is the hand left. So what I'm gonna do is just set this location. Okay, I think the bone is broken now. Wireframe. No, wireframe doesn't help. Unlit. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to move the lower arm left location like this, and then move it like this, and then move the hand L. Rotate. Okay, let me just go to the default location, and this is going to be something like this. Yeah, I'm gonna add a key, just checking to see how it's gonna go. So add a key, and that's it. But is this a natural position of the left hand? I think it is. I'm not sure. Now I'm just going to save. I'm going to move this window to the left and see and just stop the game and play the game again. Okay, so when I move, I think the effector location is a bit off. It's very down. If I move up, it's going to be better. But I have to be able to preview it first. So play, and then I think it's a bit down. The wings. Okay, let's just watch the tutorial first.
But this is a pretty good left hand IK. It's going to work quite well. And I might drop that elbow down a little bit as well. So I'll go back to my ABP event graph, select the 2 bone IK, and this transform here, the joint target location. I might drop that down a little bit. Hit compile. That looks a little bit more natural. So that's it for the pistol. Now it's a little bit this joint target.
Yeah, so he put it right below. What is the character doing? That seems like a natural position to be in. Okay, I think the right hand is too much rotated to inside, rotated to the left. So if I rotate the right hand to the right, it's probably going to be better. But now I'm going to edit the animations of when the character is running, so I'm going to go inside the animation. Let me just plug. Yeah, I think I can let this M41 in here, just right over here. Go back to the animation, and now I'm going to get the animation of where the character is moving. So pose, rifle, stand. I think not stand, but rifle move. Relaxed. So this is the animation. I think what I'm gonna do is just get the rifle idle, relaxed. I'm going to remove this IK. And in here, whoops, don't crash, please. Sometimes the engine freezes and the engine is trying to ask itself, do I crash or I don't crash? Especially if you don't save your things, I think there's a higher chance for the engine to crash, especially if you don't save the changes that you've made. So as you can see, the engine is just, yeah, it crashed. Okay.
Location can be a little bit trickier for longer guns. So now to set up left-hand IK on one of the longer guns, all we literally have to do is find the skeleton and add that left-hand IK socket. So we can go to Assault Rifle A skeleton, open this up, right-click on the root bone, add a socket, rename it, LHIK, all caps.
Now he's going to do the same process for all the other weapons. Howdy. What's up, Guy Zui? Guy Zai.
And then put this more or less in the right position. And now I'm going to dock this over here, hit play, and go and grab an assault rifle. And the left-hand IK should be working, so you can see his hands following the weapon there. We can fiddle with the left-hand IK socket position. Why is that not reflecting? There's some... again, another mistake. I'm very sorry about this, guys. Like I said, my brain is muddled from being sick. This is only working for the pistol right here because that's where these nodes are. So I need to also do this on our assault rifle enums. Make a little bit of space here.
Okay. Yeah, I need to save everything. So I go to the event mannequin. I have to remove all attached sockets, save. If you go to the project settings and go to search for save, you can show, maybe we can see the how often we activate the auto saving. So editor preferences, maybe saving, save on compile, on success only, and try to find maximum number of autosaves. Let's put it to be 50. Warning in seconds, put it to be 5. Frequency in minutes, so let's set it to be 1. So it's going to save automatically after 1 minute. Save the changes, so that's good. I'm going to put the socket back to... I don't know why my skeleton is not saved. Right, so rifle. Add the rifle in here, M41. That's great. Now for the M41, I'm going to add the left-hand IK. So add socket, LeftHandIK, and that's going to be over there. And I also need to change in the animations as well. So going to fin, just to reset this the items that was there. Rifle stand, relaxed. I don't know why the animation broke. I think the animation broke. Oh, no. Didn't break. Now what I'm going to do is just delete this curving here. Remove the track. Weapon R, I don't know what this is. This skeleton. uh, I think that looks nice. Now I'm just going to copy all the settings. I'm not going to copy the weapon R additive layer and move on to the pose rifle stand relax move, and then just delete what is already in here because I don't need it, and then just paste the same locations, and then yeah. So press on play, save, and then yeah, wait a little bit for the motion matching to load, and that's it. Yeah, I think that's better. That's better than before. But now the hand is a little bit forward. So we're going to fix that right now. I'm not sure why the character is... We're gonna have to update the character's mesh. Okay, so I'm gonna have to close the sandbox character and then open up again, and it's going to be updated after I open it. So it's going to be updated only showing the character holding the rifle. So yeah. All right. Scam UFN mannequin. We previewed the animation. No, not on here. Two Bone IK. Select the. No, not on here. The info one. Select the location of where it's going to be. When I try to save it, it crashes. When I try to save the location of the left hand IK in the M31, it crashes. But we're getting a good result so far. And let's see what's gonna happen. And the socket disappeared again. So add a new socket again. Left hand IK. I think I have to save the skeleton first. So as you can see right here, when I make a new change, maybe in the location of the left hand IK, the skeleton gets to be not saved. So as you can see, there is a small star in here. So maybe if I change the socket right into the skeleton, maybe that's going to be better, and then just save it right away in here. So that's going to save it for the skeletal mesh as well. I think that's going to be the best solution. All right, so now I saved. So even if the engine crashes, I'm going to have this socket saved, hopefully. Now play again. As you can see now, I just need to set the socket to be in the right place. Put it too far. So save, play again. Yeah, I always press shift. Shift, Control S. Shift, Control S. So he saves everything. Yeah. Again. What I've done is just change the socket location directly in the skeletal mesh. And then as soon as I stopped the project to be running, it crashed. So try again. Pick up the ammo box, then the gun. Yeah, it's not set up right now, so it's not gonna it's not gonna have good results. I have to set up the socket for the pistol as well. Now the ammo box, if you mean the ammo box and then the rifle. The rifle is going to work. Wow. Maybe this gizmo has to be like right over here, right behind the character. I have no idea. Compile. Yeah, if I try to compile, okay. Compile, save. If I try to play again, now it's going to improve a little bit, but now if I put it back a little bit right here, I don't really know where this gizmo should be, but I believe setting up that in the correct position could make us to have more realistic results of the, like, regarding the movement of the arm when the character runs with the weapon. And maybe this gizmo location could be different depending on which weapon we have, which, you know, action we're playing, which animation we're playing on top of the upper body overlay system when the character is holding the rifle. So yeah, maybe we could make that based on the curve value. So maybe on which depending on which animation we're playing, we could set a curve value so that it could control the effector location of where this gizmo should be, the location of the effector location should be, or the joint target location should be. I think that's the name. So when I move it, it changes in here. Make that to be based on the curve value of which animation is currently playing and the upper body of the character. So I'm not sure if I should place it down over here, but let's just keep testing. Maybe this should be placed over here. Yeah, I think that doesn't make any difference. Now the character's arm is just too much to the left. Place it down. Is there a way where you don't play any animations? Do you mean, is there any way you can block any animation to be played until you finish picking up something? Okay, now I think it's too much forward. I think this forward and back location relative to the character should be right in the middle. I don't know where he set the gizmo location of his gizmo location should be.
Going to play around with the left hand. His animation blueprint will.
Where he set it to be.
Effect a target hand under and effect and what you do is press F animation blueprint target. So I'm going to grab my pistol's A skeleton here, and I'm also going
as you can see, it's right next to his shoulder.
Target location, and this is what's going to control sort of where his elbow sits. So if we move this out a little bit,
yeah, so it's right over next to his shoulder like this. But for me, let's see if that's gonna do any result. So maybe like this. Let's see what we have. As you can see, for me, it doesn't work for some reason. Right next to his shoulder. Let me just see where it is. Yeah. Try sliding the LeftHandIK forward or backwards.
And maybe down.
Maybe that's because that's the reason why.
You'll see that that's a much more natural position. So we can.
Yeah, that's a more natural position. So, like here, maybe. No, yeah. Now it's it's a combination of both things. I'm just compile, save. That's gonna save, and move the LeftHandIK just a little bit to forward. So when I move this, As you can see, the left shoulder dislocates a little bit down. If I set the gizmo to be a little bit up, I think that doesn't happen. There you go. Now it's fixed. There you go. Slide the hand down the gun and pull the elbow out. Backwards. Backwards on the for the elbow or for the gun? But I like the result. It looks really good. Not that one. Okay, maybe this should be in here. And then there. A little bit below. Going down like this. Oh yeah, I forgot to move the move the arms on the ready pose as well. Stand, relax, move, idle, rifle, and then copy the curves. Get you ready, idle. Now this one is going to be different. Hello, Nada Lux. think the IK tries to work somehow. I think the ALS complex learning system and the foot IK, they have to communicate with each other to solve that bug of when the character lifts it himself off. But I think that's just a minor issue for now. Okay, but how about the rotation? How can I control the rotation of the 2 bone IK? I think there's got to be a way to control the rotation as well. Location. Yeah, fabric. Vector transform. Let me see if the tutorial there is
individual. And let's have a look at the arm. Sorry, the right arm.
rotation.
For 4. Global space and not objects. And target. Check for even when you're unarmed. Left hand IK. You know, such as I'm just going to get rid of this, and let's. It's off. Here. Off. It's just making sure that it switches on. And let's see how that.
That's a very good tutorial. I like this. Yeah, developing is like this. All right. Bone space, effective transform. Location. Effective transform. I'm just looking at something like split the structure, make the transform, then plug this into here. Let me see if I can get the make rotator. Break rotator. Let's say I want to change the z-axis to be 90 degrees positive on the z-axis. Let's see if that changes something. Nope. I think not. I think I gotta change the animation in the stand idle. But as you can see, I've already changed the animation to be the rotation of the socket to be like this. But then it didn't work. Ah, so it's over here. Here you can change the rotation. Now I just gotta remove all this, plug everything back into whatever they were before. But then if I do effective rotation source to be no change, and I compile it, play, and then if I change this, it's not going to affect, as you can see right there. But if I do the effective rotation source to be copy target rotation and press on play, now we're gonna have to change the rotation in here. So just gotta change the rotation of the arm in the directly into the aim4a1 skeleton, and that's what I want. And this is not something that he taught in the tutorial that he taught. Now it's fixed. He uses steady hand, so he doesn't teach. Steady hand. Yeah. Yeah, alright. So that's going to be it. I think I'm going to end up for now. If you guys have any questions about anything, just let me know. Now in the next tutorial, we're going to be fixing the character to, you know, because right now when you press play, the character holds this. it's very weird. So I want to apply that IK to only when the character picks up the rifle. So that's going to be good. And we also need to set up for the pistol and for the bow. The bow is also going, I think it's also going to be good because you can edit the rotation. It's going to be, the bow is going to be very stable, and it's going to be a lot more realistic. All right, so that's going to be it. Continuous frustration is bad for a long time. Yeah. No, I don't get frustrated. That's the key. Aim offset. The aim offset. Aim offset, I don't know how to set up. Aim offset is old way to use the aiming part. For making the character to aim, you can either use aim offsets or you can use the complex layering system to help you, which is this one. Actually, this is the spine rotation, which enables the character to aim up or down, up and down. As you can see, when you aim, when you aim up and down like this, the vertical axis, spine rotation changes. And if you don't have the spine rotation, just unplug everything here. As you can see, nothing. It's going to work, but the spine rotation is not going to change. It's not going to influence, but the brain. Oh yeah, the overlay layer. So instead of using aim offsets, I use the rifle aiming rifle. So in here, we get this animation here, which is the rifle stand sweep, which lasts 1 second. So as you can see, you can aim up and down, and that's plugged into the explicit time. So when you aim up and down, we have a value that's get from the function. I haven't made that function. Epic Games made it so that they can calculate things like this. So yeah, we use that to this value here, map range clamped. So that converts to, as the animation just lasts 1 second, we set the out range to be 1, which is 1 second, and the star is 0. So 0 to 1 from A to B, B to A, vice versa. So yeah. But overall, I think the project is really good. It's really getting its form and features. So that's going to be it. And maybe someday I make the aim offset, but that's not really my thing. So that's going to be it. And